Alright boys, welcome back to the Black Clover mobile video. Season 2 has just started, so now it's time to update our tier list, and a lot of changes are going to be made today. So let's start off with our PvP tier list. This was the one from Season 1, and basically day 1, just like the go-to characters that will be actually pretty good in PvP. S tier was basically just everyone now is kind of decent, and ones that you actually want to try out in PvP, since it was just the start of the game. Where now, you can see a lot of them are being moved down as the meta has kind of found itself out, and of course with the addition of a bunch of new characters. So let's start off with the actual changes. William was S tier. Once again, he was just insane in counter attack. He's still pretty good character, don't get me wrong, but now once again there are definitely more options. Blue Yami has also gone down as well, since the character is no longer like one of the best DPS in the game. Mimosa is still insane, but not really a hard carry now. Once again, still a really good character. They just moved down one tier. They ain't gone too far down. And same for Vatos. Vatos has moved down the time he's actually good. And once again, I only put him in SSS last time was just because I wanted people to know that this guy's actually a really good character. Since as you can see by the list, well, there aren't that many good SRs, so I wanted to stress that this character was actually pretty good. Clover Academy after taking a massive dip. I'm just pretty sure no one's going to use this character from now on. He's just not really worth the combo anymore, since Charlotte's taken a massive hit as well. You'd rather just focus on Mono Blue and just basically other better characters in the higher league. You'd rather not use this character now. Red Yami, the modes of the meta right now is basically Mono Blue, with obviously addition of obviously Summon Noel. And with Julius coming out soon, we're just going to prepare this guy to move down a little bit. He does do good damage. He can still do really good, and was pretty decent before we got Noel, because he was actually a pretty good counter towards Raya and Licht. But with Summon Noel in the game now, you'd actually rather use her. She's just a better Yami basically. There's no way around it. Finral's still pretty good. If anything, you could still probably argue him to be an S tier, but I think right now with the fact that we're now focusing on more magic attack buffers, especially with Noel and Julius coming out soon, you'd rather use Vatos, I think. Charlotte dropping down a lot here. I just don't see her value anymore. Lowering attack was pretty good during Season 1, since most of the best characters in the game were based off attack. But now we have obviously a lot of magic users, so her ultimate not being as good. The mark effect that she does apply is pretty good, but now teams are quite tanky, with gear being a lot more accessible now. And with Noel's shield, people can store that mark turn, and I just don't really see it being used too much. Maybe a drastic drop here, but I think it's warranted. Okay, so that were the changes. Let's move on towards the actual characters. Summon Noel, I mean, you can see some gameplay in the background. It's Summon Noel. She's broken. Her shield's insane. Her ultimate's insane as well. It's just going to be a top tier character. Raya, I mean, arguably you can put Raya and Licht because they are a dual unit here, but I feel like with the fact that he has a buff removal skill, that can be very, very good against obviously Summon Noel. Raya and Licht's combo is just one of the best combos in the game, and people are still using it to this day, 6-7 seasons later on JP and KR. But with the fact that he has got AoE damage and a buff removal, I do think he gets a little bit of an edge over Licht, and that's why he is in a higher tier. Licht we just spoke about, but yes, once again a pretty good character. Kind of obviously complements Ryan in a lot of ways with good single target damage, so you do want to chip someone down, and especially right now since everyone's using Mars and Lotus. Just these two great characters, despite Noel being in the game, are still very, very good. Just to quickly run through Lotus again and get him down quick and out of the game is yeah, very, very powerful. Fauna, I'm still a bit biased towards, since I've used her a lot on JP and KR, but she does do a lot of damage, and she's a character I use with Noel, and she's not too bad. Noel actually complemented her in some way now, with the fact that you can kind of reliably keep 100 HP, so you can always give that extra 50% damage. I feel like we might start to see more Faunas now, but she's just an okay character. Charmy is literally just a better version of the SR1 and more reliable healer now. I wasn't too comfortable bringing the SR1 in the PP, which is why she's not on the list, but now with this updated one, she is just a better version of the SR Charmy that I feel like you're more comfortable bringing down in PvP, because she does do a lot more in terms of buffing up the team. With a massive defensive buff, constant healing for 2 turns, AoE healing with the ultimate as well, she is actually a good healer now. Ghosh, I think I might be sleeping on him a bit, but once again, he doesn't really take too much off. He's definitely a usable character, but I feel like he's in the same situation as Sally, where it's a good combo option, but not a needed one. I just got him yesterday. I tried a bit on JP. He wasn't a bad character, but I feel like there are just better characters, more reliable ones. So he is, once again, golden the A tier. Asta, to be fair, boys, I've not tried too much, but a red character in a kind of a blue meta, and he's a tank character, doesn't do that good. I just don't really see this guy being too useful. I would say I try him out when I do eventually get him, but from my experience on JP and KR, this guy was, yeah, never used. Veto. hurts me to say this one because I actually do like the character, especially after that new chapter. But yeah, he's not a good character. His whole gimmick and his whole kit rolls around actually having your whole team die for him to be actually a decent character. And that's not really an optimal way to play the game. It makes sense towards the character and the canon towards the game. Once again, a red character when you have big blue characters in the game, like obviously Lotus and Mars. And I don't believe you can taunt anyway. So, yeah, taunt is actually kind of important and a good way to counter other characters. And he doesn't do that. So, yeah. Just not worth using. Alright, so that is my PvP tier list. Boys, let me know in the comments down below what you think and where you move some characters around. Once again, open the change my mind here. Obviously, I can't test every single character, but from my experience of playing them on JP and KR, and also from what I've seen right now on Global as well, I feel like this is a pretty good tier list. So, boys, let me know. Alright, so jumping in towards PvE. You can see the tier list from Season 1. Now, this is the updated one. A lot of characters moving up because, well, we value a lot of AoE characters. And also some new additions and removing some characters as well. So, to start off with the changes, SR Charmy going up massively. I did think she was good and I heard she was good. But on my experience from playing KR, I didn't really rely too much on healing. I actually focused more on, obviously, just brute force damage. And I did pretty decent. But as someone who was kind of free to play and didn't have a lot of options towards a lot of characters, SR Charmy was a massive game changer and literally carried me through all my content so far. One of the best characters you can level up right now, and I think even right now I'm consistently clearing 415 of the gear dungeons and even other harder stages that I shouldn't be able to clear just because of the reliable heals. Plus, you know what, that little extra attack she does, it does do a lot of damage. So yeah, love this character. Mosa is going up. She was in a lower tier last time because, well, we didn't have that many boss fights in the game, and also there weren't that many green characters in the game. So doing the green dungeon farm wasn't really a thing because you didn't have that many options, where now you actually can do it. So she's gonna be moving up because she is just once again in the same situation as Charmy in terms of healing for the actual green dungeon. Charlotte is moving down. Once again, we just have more things to play around with now, so she is no longer a must-have character. Sally, we're moving up now because we have a lot of boss fights consistently in the game now, so having a massive magic attack buff. And since we've now gotten a few magic attack characters, she is actually going to be moving up a little bit. Real, I still don't think is a crazy character, but when it comes to farming, and since there still aren't that many good green AoE characters, at least the two new ones being Ryan and Licht, who are still hard to get, he is a character you may actually pick up early game, and with 2 AoE skills, it's at least good enough to where you can start farming the green dungeon. Seke, actually the first rare character on the tier list. I didn't really respect any rare characters because I generally thought they weren't usable, but as a free to play for the last 2 weeks now, and not having access to Assault or Mars, I needed a actual defender, and Seke literally carried me through a lot of content. If you want a good defender, and you don't have Mars, or you don't want to invest into Assault, honestly, Seke is a really good substitute, and him and Charmy have literally carried me through so much content now. I love these two characters. Nozel moving up once again. I just kind of value the SSRs a lot higher than obviously some SRs, and once again, he's got some AoE damage. Not the best option, but an option. Leopold actually got buffed, I believe. His actual AoE skill was now AoE. I think it was the free combo attack one, where like it hits 3 people, but not the 4th carrot in the far right. But yeah, once again, AoE damage, it's good enough to use in Red Dungeon Farm. That's kind of basically it. And the SR, you know, is going down once again, mainly because at the start of the game, he was kind of the only green DPS in the game that you could actually reliably get, at least for free. But now with the addition of Ryan Licht, he is dropped those drastically. You just do not need him. Alright, so moving in towards the new characters for PvE. Fauna, by far, probably the best blue farmer right now. She has double AoEs on the ultimate and skill 2 and does insane damage. She is by far one of the best actual blue farmers. Raya is literally just a green version of Yami. AoE damage, you can't go wrong. He's going to be a good green farmer and by far probably one of the best green farmers. Noelle, I'm tempted to put in another tier above, but of course she's going to be S tier. Skill 1 that has an AoE card as well. It's just insane damage. Shield that can make you clear through content that you couldn't normally clear through. Swimsuit Noelle, of course, is going to be SS. Just good AoE damage on a skill 1 and also ultimate. By far one of the best DPSs, if not the best DPS in the game right now. And of course that shield that just gives you basically immortality, if we're putting it lightly. SSR Charmy I've not actually pulled just yet, but I don't see her not being the same tier as the SR1. They are basically the same character, but kind of better in a way. I feel like her damage may be a little bit worse than the SR1, just because the SR1 has a chance to do that extra attack, and that does do actually quite a lot of damage. So I have to wait and test her out in a few days, but considering they're almost the same character, but she's better, I don't see why she wouldn't be in the same tier as Charmy. Licked is going to go into the S tier. He's a really good character, but since he's got a lot of single target damage, which is more or less good for boss fights, when it comes to farming, you're not going to use him really too much. You would obviously use him on the team because you want some good, obviously, green DPS, and you want to use his combo attack with Raya. But in terms of carrying, he's not on really the same level as Raya. Ghost is in the A tier. He is just once again a good buffer, but that's all he does. He buffs up and has one single target skill. So not really good for dealing damage. When I max him out, I'll test if he's actually good for PvE farming, but generally, since he doesn't do damage, and sure, the buffs are nice, but when it comes to farming gear, you want to be fast, and I feel like he might actually just slow you down, just the fact that he's not really attacking too much. Red Aster has no AoE damage, it's just single target, so decent for boss fights, but I think that's kind of it, right? You're never really going to use this guy for obviously PvE farming. He is free, so it is nice, and to be fair, I do need more red characters, so obviously I will probably be using him, but I do feel like you can probably get the same out of him, maybe even better from the SR one, but we'll put him in B tier for now. Veto I will be using because I unfortunately did get him, but yeah, he's got one AoE skill, so it's going to be quite alright. He's got some life steal, so he can keep himself alive and not have to worry about healing, since we really don't have a good red healer other than the SR Mimosa. But yeah, just not a great character. I mean, once again, he's an SSR, so he's going to have some value, and you can still use him and be somewhat okay, but he's not really going to make much of a difference other than being maybe the only other red character you got on your team. I'll level him out in the next few days to see if I can start farming the red dungeon, and we'll see how much of a difference he makes to see if he wants to go up a tier. But I feel like with Noel being out, she can probably solo carry floor 15. I don't need Veto. So boys, that is going to wrap up the tier list. This once again is going to be the PvP tier list for season 2, and also this is going to be the PvE tier list for season 2. Let me know what you think of the tier list, and if you have any other recommendations about characters to add. Once again, I'm open to change my mind here because I didn't think I'll be adding Seke towards this list, but he is actually a really good character. So if you have any other characters that are not on this tier list that you feel like should be in the tier list, then do let me know. I'll try them out and see if it's actually worth updating next season. So boys, thank you for watching the video, and yeah.